Welcome to Strange Bedfellows, a Julian Fellowes fan cast. I'm Kirt Graves.
And I'm Stefanie Jochman-Deepak. Today, we are discussing Season 1, Episode 3 of Downton Abbey.
Woo, 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 yeah!
This is the episode. This is the one that hooks you.
As we've talked about before, this is when things really start to feel real, when the drama escalates to soap opera-worthy levels.
Yes.
And things are just propelled forward. And I'm saying that even though the first episode had the Titanic sinking.
Yeah.
So
you would think that would be the biggest drama, but it is not.
No, we're getting into it today. Episode 3 of Season 1. So, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for Season 1, Episode 3 of Downton Abbey. If you haven't watched it, why are you even listening to this? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe you're just fans of Stefanie and I, and that's great. Welcome.
Thanks.
And feel free to continue listening as long as you're totally okay with things being ruined for you before you watch the episode. Otherwise, go watch it, come back. As folks who have watched the whole series, I think we're going to do our best not to spoil like future things, even though we know we know what happens later.
Yeah.
You know?
I will do
But I can't make any promises about that either. So
yeah, the completist in me, the lit analyst in me really wants to look at all the parts, but we'll try to hold back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, speaking of things that happened in this episode, we have our 60-second recap. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, at your leisure.
Okay, here we go. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, while one very sly fox hunter jumped into bed with the Earl of Grantham's daughter. And Mr. Bates, well, he's barely walking. While Gwen attempts a typing course to try to better herself, I, Anna, so imagine she typed this way, a letter. I, Anna, am learning an entirely different set of skills altogether. If I'm not running around the house trying to locate Lady Mary's hunting clothes, I'm running around the house trying to hide a dead Turkish ambassador. Is he really from Turkey? Who knows? While Lady Mary didn't dislike Mr. Pamuk's host, Evelyn Napier, it appears she didn't dislike Mr. Napier enough to welcome her into her bed. I pray that no one else spied Mary, her ladyship, and I, dragging the unfortunate young man's corpse back into his bed, though I fear I saw Daisy out of the corner of my eye. The incident certainly seems to have shaken up Lady Mary, and though Mr. Carson has no patience for poor Gwen or any of us stepping out of line, it's clear he still sees young Mary whenever he looks at that normally cool and savvy young woman. None of the Grantham girls seemed happy the last time I dressed them. Poor Edith isn't getting any attention from Matthew, no matter how many churches she drags him to, and Lady Sybil seems entirely absent from all of the fun. Oh, I see Gwen coming. Let me tuck this away.
Yeah. Nicely done. Nicely done. So, yeah, here we have obviously the main conflict, the main plot of the whole thing, once again revolves around Lady Mary.
Yes.
And a gentleman suitor, a gentleman caller. This will be a theme.
Yes.
So, here we are again. Who is Mary going to marry?
Yep. And maybe it's Evelyn Napier. You know, she had written to him at the end of the last episode, right? And according to Mary, she doesn't dislike him. When Cora asks her, "Oh, do you like him?" "Well, I don't dislike him," which is a very Lady Mary thing to say.
Right.
Yeah. And so she and Cora sort of maneuver for him to attend, not knowing that he's going to bring his very attractive, maybe Turkish friend along with him.
Right. Well, and it's some of the sloppiest maneuvering that ever did maneuver, especially when Cora doesn't even realize that her dear friend, Evelyn Napier's mother...
Dear friend. She's my dear friend.
She's my dear friend, Evelyn Napier's mother. It's like, is he close with her? Not too close. She's dead.
Well, I like that it's Mary sort of catching her mother out.
Exactly. Like, lady, I know exactly what you're doing. We all know what you're doing. Why can't they just speak plainly about it when clearly everybody knows what's going on?
Have you watched any British period drama?
Yeah, I know. It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, no, that's what the Americans come in and do, is speak plainly.
Yes. So, well, and sometimes the servants too. I really appreciate their take on some of this.
They do.
But yeah, it's very clear that they're all scheming and they know what's happening. But to everyone's surprise, Evelyn Napier shows up, who, by the way, is a very handsome gentleman.
Evelyn Napier?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, okay.
No offense to this actor.
Interesting. I stand up for the milk toast British men. There's nothing wrong with him. He's got a nice, pleasant face.
To be fair, I'm also not attracted to Mr. Pamuk.
Okay.
As they've fashioned him in this episode, but yeah, I mean, Evelyn Napier is
which
also
is really
a no
saying
for
something,
me.
because they make a point of making it very clear that he is quite attractive
Yes.
as he rides up on his horse.
Yes.
Yeah. The look on Mary's face as they cut to her seeing him for the first time, and she is shocked at how beautiful this man is. And to be fair, it's Theo James, a very beautiful man.
Yes. The right casting for this part? I have some questions.
So that did make me wonder, because I think he is, like, his full name, it sounds like it might have some Greek background. So we're getting closer to Turkey, but also, is this a strategy to send the most white-looking Turkish family to England to negotiate? Is it the point?
Okay, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. I had just thought about, once I knew who Theo James was, because I don't think until Theo James was in Sanditon, which if you haven't watched Sanditon, check it out, like Jane Austen adaptation. And so he was in Divergent, right?
Yes.
And then he's in Sanditon, and I really registered him in that series. And then when I went back and watched some of Downton, I went, oh, he's playing Mr. Pamuk? That's who that was? Like, the concept of Mr. Pamuk was there for me, but he was kind of faceless in my memory. And so once I registered who it was and what I knew him from, I questioned that, but maybe it's strategic.
Well, and I think it's also possible, and I think we have to assume that Pamuk is his father's name, and perhaps his mother was English, because again, there's too much. Yes, he looks too much like an Englishman to be playing the Turkish ambassador's son, if he's not, or just very light-skinned.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, in this age of casting and casting the wide net, a part of me bristles at that. At the same time, it could very much reflect colonial politics.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you hear Kamal Pamuk, you do not expect Theo James to be riding up on the horse.
Yeah.
Not in 2025.
No.
Although that brings me to another point that sort of revolves also around this Mary needing to get married thing, is like Violet's already talking about like how they need to do this quickly before the bloom is off of her rose. And how different it is to watch this series in my very, very late 30s.
By the way, our friend Molly, who we've shouted out, says we needed to just own it.
All right, I'm 40 now.
Yes, so am I. We 40. Own it. We're proud. We're fierce.
Like, watching this show now at 40 is so different than watching it in like my mid to late 20s when it came out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't register it until this viewing to be like, what are you people worried about? She's in like her mid 20s. She's got so much time. What is the big the bloom is off her rose.
Yeah, I know. And you think about how desirable Mary continues to be.
Yes.
Decades later in the show. So the time changes, attitudes change. I mean, I get, societal expectations and whatnot, but yeah. And I think about my 20-something self sort of raised on period drama in which there is such age anxiety and such notion that like you pass, 25 and forget it. Like you're cast off out of the market, out of the eligibility range, and realize how much I internalized that for a time.
For sure.
And then I get to, my 30s and now 40, and it's like, oh my gosh, I knew nothing I knew nothing then.
People should not be making decisions about the rest of their life at that age.
No. And I'm a much better partner. I'm a much better partner as an older person. A much more formed individual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy to watch this now and be like, what were they worried about? But again,
fertility.
It's the time,
like if we really want to.
Yeah.
It's fertility.
Yeah. She needed time to pump out a few babies.
We really want to get down to it.
And as we know, having babies is a dangerous business, even in the 1920s.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in the future.
Indeed. Indeed. We will be touching on that as we go. But
so they go on this hunting trip, or this hunting. It's not a trip. It's just hunting. I don't know. All we really see them do is ride off on horses.
Yes.
And all of those dogs look so happy. That brought me joy. I was like, oh, look at the happy puppies.
Yeah.
And the horses seem to be having a great time. I can't imagine any of them like it once the guns start going off.
No.
But,
or they've been trained for it, so they're accustomed.
Yeah. But we don't really see any of that. We just see them jump over a muddy creek, and then we're like, must have gone okay.
Very sexy mud.
Very sexy mud, yeah. They return to the house. One of my favorite lines from this episode is Thomas looking at Theo James and going, is that one mine? Which is when I wrote down, everyone is so thirsty in this episode.
Yeah.
Thomas for Kamal, Kamal for Mary, Matthew for Mary, Edith for Matthew. The list goes on and on. Everybody's thirsty.
Yeah, that is a good summary of what is happening here.
Mm-hmm. And Kamal is super thirsty and takes a lot of risks to get Mary isolated from the group, where he kisses her and says, can I come to your room? His machination started while he was getting dressed with Thomas, when he uses Thomas to be able to get his way. That I had forgotten about that. And as soon as it started happening again, I was like, oh yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing. Which is basically to send signals to Thomas that he's interested in
Thomas.
Some special time with his valet. And Thomas goes for it. And then he's like, what are you doing? I will tell people unless you basically lead me to Lady Mary's room later tonight. So this plan he's been scheming the whole time.
Yeah. Interestingly, and I need to double check this, but when he finally makes the strongest advance to Mary, they're looking at a piece of art.
Yes.
Right? And it's the Della Francesca.
Yes.
That shows up again.
Yes.
In the new movie, does it not?
It's mentioned. Yes. It's mentioned as something they could sell.
Yes.
To save the estate.
And it's something that my least favorite person in that new movie is looking at.
Yes.
Oh, another signal. Another signal.
And is it not also the Della Francesca that brings some marital woe to Cora and Robert later in the series as well?
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
This painting makes people horny. I'm sorry, I'm not going to cut that part.
Yeah, don't cut it.
The painting makes people horny.
I need to investigate what this painting looks like. Right? Because from the episode, it did not seem that impressive or that, I don't know, erotically
who gets
charged.
to decide what art is impressive or worth anything, really?
Okay. That's true.
It's all a crapshoot. So,
So, he makes his advantages in front of the Della Francesca. What I loved about this, or not really loved, because it's kind of what was a flirtation becomes sort of a dangerous moment. And you see Mary, who'd been having fun, suddenly get taken aback, right? You know, when what they've been flirting at becomes a reality, you can see she's not ready for it.
No.
in the same way that, when she and Charlie Cox's character were walking through the servants' quarters and suddenly, the excitement and the thrill of being with this man and having this attraction turned into, oh, this could be dangerous and this is wrong. You see these flares of Mary's conscience, right?
Yeah.
And the way her eyes go, just like Michelle Dockery's performance in that moment, is really fascinating, that it shifts from this attraction and this excitement to danger.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about every episode, like some notable actors from that episode, but really Michelle Dockery could show up in every single one of them so far. Because the nuances of her performance are so special, and the lines she is given are often so delicious.
Yes.
And she never overplays it. Mm-mm. She's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
That Michelle Dockery.
She's really good. Yeah. That's the line. What was it? Oh, I'm busy having a life.
Right.
When does she tell Edith that? I'm busy having a life. Or I'm busy living a life.
Yeah.
In terms of like giving the tour to Matthew, right?
Yeah. And of course she's happy to pawn Matthew off on Edith.
Yeah.
Because she's not interested. So
no.
She's got Evelyn Napier visiting, and then Mr. Pamuk is right there.
Yeah.
And I suppose we should get into the Mr. Pamuk of it all, who does show up to her room, does some convincing,
mm-hmm.
and this it's hard to talk about this on this podcast.
In this family-friendly podcast.
On this family-friendly podcast, he makes some advances. He implies that maybe this is not, whatever they're about to do, it won't ruin her for her future. And it's like, sir, what are you talking about?
Right. And
she clearly has no idea, which is the bigger issue.
Yes.
That, she has no idea what you're proposing or getting yourself into. But ultimately, goes along with it.
Yeah.
There's a moment later when her mother asks her, did he force himself on you? And she does not say yes.
Right.
Though there's a part of me in my 2025 brain watching this and going he kind of did.
Yeah.
He super duper just showed up and then immediately was well, if you scream and somebody sees us, this is a scandal already. So he had all the power, really forced her hand, if not forced her in the more obvious sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, did not like this scene watching it this time.
No.
It hadn't clicked for me that way before.
Same. That I think in earlier moments when I'd watched it, I thought, just sort of a scoldy voice.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, what are you doing? This is a bad idea, or he's not a great guy.
Right.
Not really registering that as excited as she seemed to be by the possibility of him, she really
mm-hmm.
had no power and had little agency in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was physically blocking the door too, because it's she couldn't go anywhere. He was in the way. So anyways, he croaks.
In her bed.
In her bed. And then the next thing we see after he is kissing her neck is we cut to Anna asleep in her bed, and Mary covering her mouth so she doesn't scream, and then being we have a little problem that we have to take care of really quickly. He's dead.
Mm-hmm.
In my bed.
Yes.
And I didn't mean to make that rhyme.
Excellent impression.
Thank you. So the two of them are what are we going to do? We got to get him back to his bed. There's no way we can do it alone. Who will help us? Who would be just as harmed by this going badly as we would? Cora.
Yep.
Cut to Elizabeth McGovern giving the most delicious face as she's reacting to this news.
Oh my goodness. Elizabeth McGovern is great in this episode. Yeah, I think about, I've got my Mary Englebright calendar back on the wall, and she used to have a design a girl's best friend is her mother.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I don't think any daughter, any mother anticipated this being one of those moments in which that friendship or that alliance would be tested.
And they manage to pull it off. They get him back to his bed. The only witness is Daisy,
mm-hmm.
who sees something but doesn't quite know what's going on.
Right.
And then Mrs. O'Brien and Thomas know what preceded the death,
Yes.
and that he was back in his room later, but they suspect something hinky happened.
Yes, they suspect some foul play because Thomas knew where he was ahead of time. So there's a lot of questions.
Yeah. So there are
Floating around
untied
downstairs.
strings in this scandal,
Yes.
which will make themselves known in future episodes.
Yeah, and future seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. This comes back again and again. This incident that could ruin Lady Mary. Which again, like, oh my God, how many times is this lady going to be ruined?
And it's based on a real event.
What?
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Say more.
Okay, I should have done more diligent research, but I knew but Julian Fellowes has said that this particular plot line is inspired by a story he heard from relatives about like a woman who had this scandalous relationship and
No way.
a death
That's
in the
so
house
cool.
that had to be like secretly sort of shoved under the rug.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's really neat.
I will come back in a future episode with more detailed information about that. But I do know that it's grounded in real events.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at the end of all of this, Evelyn, of course, feels terrible that he brought a guy into an English house and he died.
Yeah.
Maggie Smith has a great line about, of course, it would be a foreigner. No Englishman would dream of dying in someone else's house.
Good line.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I love too that Evelyn Napier's like, ghastly thing. Now show me the gardens.
Yes. Would you like to take a walk in the gardens?
Yeah.
Again, stiff upper lip and all that.
Yeah. Nice man. Too bad.
Yeah. Well, and then he has this conversation with Cora that I found very interesting again.
Yeah.
Where, she kind of says like, will we see you again? And he kind of just puts it all out there and is like, this is the time when he's like, okay, we all know what we're talking about. So let's just say it plain. I know I'm not that interesting of a person. I'm not going to lead that interesting of a life, but I would like for the person I marry to find me interesting.
Yeah.
And clearly Lady Mary does not. So no, I won't be back.
Yeah.
At least not for that reason. We do see Evelyn Napier in the future.
That's right. We do. But yeah,
Yes.
not for this reason anymore.
So that's what's going on upstairs.
Yes.
Then we also have some things going on downstairs.
Indeed.
I would say probably the biggest storyline of this episode is Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With her typing. So she has the typewriter, and she's taking her typing course. And at the start of this episode, I wrote, in a just world, we'd have a Rose Leslie spinoff. We'd have a Gwen spinoff.
Yeah.
Because this plot is just so interesting of this woman sort of like trying to advance her station in life. It's a really unique challenge for her to take on. And I feel like there's a whole lot of story there about her taking this course and sort of learning to live in a different space and a different tier of society. So, and Rose Leslie would be up for the challenge.
Sure.
In a just world, they would have spun her off.
Or can I pitch something?
Yes.
Perhaps she runs the office of Anna Bates Investigates.
Yes.
They team up.
Oh my gosh, I'm there for it. I am so very there for it. Julian Fellowes, are you listening?
Are you listening, Julian Fellowes? I suspect not.
But if you are.
Yeah, it literally has your name on the podcast. It might cross your feed. You never know.
Yeah. We're here to collaborate anytime.
But what I love about this is, so she's bought this typewriter. She's taking a course by correspondence of like how to become a typist and a secretary. She wants to leave service and have this other life. She never at any point says this life is bad, I don't want it, or like I want something better. It's just not what she wants. But of course, none of the servants take it that way.
No.
And O'Brien sees that they're hiding something and goes and takes the typewriter and brings it down to the servants' hall, and everybody's looking at it and Daisy's looking at it like it might jump out and bite her. And when they come in, Carson accuses her of like, well, why are you trying to keep this secret? And I love Anna's response, which is to say it's private, not secret. There's a difference.
Yes. I love that line. And what was really interesting to me in this episode, I think normally when I think about the downstairs staff, there's such warmth. Mm-hmm. And over the course of the seasons, they just become such a community and there's such warmth amongst them. But in these early episodes, there are some really, maybe cruel is too strong a word, but some really cruel moments, whether they're like all poking around at Gwen's typewriter or, just sort of like backstabbing or just Carson's unwillingness to like accept that she can have this private moment. And even like at the beginning when Anna's kind of demanding of Gwen, like, show me what's going on here. Right. There's just like a hardness to these characters, an understandable one.
Sure.
But a hardness where there normally is real softness.
Yeah. Well, I do think like the pecking order matters too, because Anna would be Gwen's superior as the head housemaid.
Yeah.
So at the second year, and like they lived in the same room. It's not like she grabbed it from the thing and was like, I'm going to look at this. She was just like trying to find a place for some more hats and was like, what is this really heavy box, woman?
Yeah.
And as soon as somebody is like, I don't want to tell you what's in the box, then you're like, okay, well now you have to tell me what's in the box.
Yeah. Yeah. In many ways, it's with Anna, it's like practicality. Like, okay.
Okay, wait a second. Like,
yeah.
Now you got to tell me. But, I think part of that too, and this speaks to the plotting and the writing of the show, that there is a more adversarial relationship between the downstairs folks. But I think it's because there's an element of discord that's introduced through O'Brien.
Yeah.
There's truly someone in their midst who feels that Service is below them, that she is not a friend to her employers, that they look down on her, and that therefore she has the right to look down on people with a lower position and constantly remind them that they are servants and they are not members of the household. Yeah. And they could be sacked at a moment's notice and nobody has any rights. And I'm above you, so I can go grab something from your room if I feel like it. Mm-hmm. And to have somebody that high in the pecking order who is so full of discord and like or discontent, I think would create that exact environment where suddenly everybody's kind of like picking at each other. And like in a couple seasons, we say au revoir to O'Brien. And even maybe before then, we start to see that everybody else is sort of coalescing around a kinder existence and recognizing that their lives aren't so terrible, that things certainly could be worse. And, I think that's part of why she leaves, because like she loses her power in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, misery loves company, and eventually her company stops.
Yeah. And even Thomas, like right now, he is very much her sidekick. And when she goes in future seasons, we get an evolution there that probably would not have happened if she stayed.
That's a very good point.
So, yeah. So I see exactly what you mean about how they're not quite as, they're not a big happy family.
No.
Right now, which is really interesting dramatically and also probably more accurate.
Yeah. I mean, it's the work that they do is difficult. And so to be patient with what they are tasked with doing, on a daily basis, and then have to be patient with each other on top of it is a big ask for any person.
Yeah, exactly. Just to wrap up the Gwen storyline, Carson does tell Robert about this because they feel like it's scandal enough that we have to tell Lord Grantham, who mentions it at dinner. And in a really lovely way, Isabel, who's there, is like, yes, that's great. Why wouldn't she want to improve her station?
Yeah.
And then Sybil, we get this lovely spark from Jessica Brown Finley of wanting to help her.
Yeah.
So we get just that little bit, the spark, the beginning of of her feminism and her willingness to help people, and how she doesn't really see herself as above the staff. She sees them as her friend, and so she offers to help.
Yeah, her progressive streak comes out.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah. Lovely. And then we also have something going on with Bates.
Yeah.
Mr. Bates goes and gets a newspaper from the Post in the first scene, and then he goes to a shop because he saw an advertisement in the Post that he then goes to. And how does this man have a business?
The man who makes the braces.
Right. A guy with a limp walks into your store where you sell braces for guys with limps, and you treat him like the dirt on your shoe. Like, come on, man. Like, what do you want? Why are you here?
Does it
hello,
work?
I have a
Would
cane.
I sell it if it doesn't?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how do you have a business? Is it mostly through the mail? Because that's the only way I'm thinking you're able to survive.
I think so. And I wonder if he fashions other implements and devices, and this is like one of many offerings.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. Because this one, no good. Not based in science or medicine, this one.
No. Yeah. It's awful to see Bates torture himself with this brace. And I think one of my notes here was Bates's long suffering continues. I feel like, unfortunately, this brace is the first, or maybe really not the first. It's like the second in a long string of Bates just being really unfortunate.
Yeah.
And it's very sympathetic, and it leads to a beautiful moment with Bates and Mrs. Hughes.
Yeah.
Where she encourages him to like throw it into the pond and really accept who he is and not put himself through so much pain. And that's a really great moment of friendship.
Yeah.
But I also...
And he tries to feel sorry for himself in that moment.
Yeah.
He tries to. And she shuts it down.
Yeah.
And she says to him, "We all carry scars, Mr. Bates, inside and out. You're no different from the rest of us." And I thought that was a really beautiful moment and some good writing.
Yeah, really good.
To let him go there, let him have his little pity party for a second, and then have this woman whose station in life is automatically less than his.
Yeah.
Be like, so sorry for you. We've all got scars. Yours happen to be physical. But here we are.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yep.
You don't need to fix yourself. You're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Beautiful moment.
Beautiful moment. Anything else going on in the downstairs? I guess sort of there's this moment at the end with Carson and Mary that sort of mixes the upstairs and the downstairs.
Yes.
Because they meet in Mr. Pamuk's room where Mary is just hanging out to feel sorry for herself. You know, they didn't have television, so like, what was she gonna do? Just mope.
Can't put on your therapy show.
Yeah, no. And then Carson's just checking to make sure that everything's, as they say, ship shape and Bristol fashion.
Yes.
God, I love the language on this show.
Yes. So good.
And they do. They have this lovely moment where, Carson is encouraging her and really sees the best in her and loves her. And she's like, how can you do that? And he's even a butler has favorites.
Mm-hmm. And Lady Mary's absolutely his. And
oh God, yeah.
Oh my gosh, their relationship is one of my favorites, and maybe one of the ones that throughout the course of the show is the best at making me tear up. I don't know what it is about it, and especially when we don't really get flashbacks per se, but when we see Carson with other small kids and he has these reminiscences of Mary, just so beautiful. And you think, here's this man doesn't have children of his own, who in some small way probably regarded the Grantham girls as his daughters.
Yeah.
And here he is sort of like coaching her and building her up when her normal allies in the house have been the ones to witness her shame and really can't be there to say, oh, you're still great, right? Because they're processing. But he who doesn't know the full truth of it will always be in her corner.
And isn't that a little knot to tie? That the person who believes in her and supports her the most never really learns the worst of her. Because like instinctively it seems that people will protect that they will protect Carson from the truth.
Yeah. Because they know how much his being able to believe she is who he wants her to be means to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't shatter the worldview of an old man like that.
No.
It would break him.
Yeah. And if Carson breaks, like, really, where are the rest of us?
Exactly.
Like, as goes Carson, so goes the world of Downton.
Yeah. Anything else that you wanted to talk about from this episode?
Two things. I want to just call out the hot dental banter between Mary and Mr. Pamuk, that they have some conversation about a dentist, right? Comparing a dental exam to the loss of one's virginity.
I believe you. I don't have any memory of this.
Yes. So they definitely, like, I'm like, really? Your flirty conversation is going to the dentist. Okay.
Which and they clearly both do. They have beautiful smiles.
Yes. And then I just want to appreciate my transition where they're talking about something out of a Trollope novel, like Anthony Trollope. And then I have, speaking of Trollope. So I just want to appreciate my pun.
Great. Good.
I think that's all.
Okay. Yes. So this was a fun episode, as we talked about in the two previous episodes. Like, we knew this one was coming, and we knew that this is where things really hit their stride, and it is. Yeah. It's a great event that carries through the rest of the season, and we get to see a lot of personality traits laid bare. Yeah.
Can I also share the theory that's been running through my brain as we think about Mary? I feel like Mary, and I don't know her character's name in the show, but I feel like Mary is like the Susan Lucci. Who does Susan Lucci play on All My Children? And that
girl, I don't know. Her character's name isn't also Susan Lucci. I just know who's Susan Lucci.
I know. And you're looking at me like, why are you leading us down this path? This is a terrible digression.
No, but what are you talking about? We're talking about a soap opera. That's what this is.
And this is the episode that says this is a soap opera, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is such a twisty, odd, against what one would normally expect from a very pastoral period piece like this one, to have this, like, scandal of a man dying in some woman's bed. And so Mary, as the character who is tough to love at the start, has a life that's surrounded by a bit of scandal, emerging as our heroine. She is our Susan Lucci.
Yeah. Erica Kane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. My apologies to the All My Children folks. I was an NBC soap opera person, but I do know about Erica Kane.
Yes. I'm trying to see if, much like Susan Lucci, did Michelle Dockery ever win an Emmy for this role?
I don't think
I know she was nominated a bunch. I don't think she did.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever won. I think when somebody won, it was Maggie Smith. So, yeah. All right. Well, so it's an apt comparison in more than one way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's enough about the episode. Every week in every episode, one of our hosts is going to challenge the other person to a trivia question related to Julian Fellowes in some way, shape, or form. What we're talking about this week could be an actor, the production, the time period in which the story is set. Possibilities are endless. Before we get to this week's question, let's listen to my answer from last week.
So here is your trivia question for this week. So in the last two episodes, there's been much talk about inheritance of property and of titles. And this is a battle that the Dowager and Cora seem to be fighting. But interestingly, they share in this fight a connection with Sir Julian Fellowes. And I wonder if you can fill in the blank.
Okay.
With for this quote from Julian Fellowes. In 2011, thinking about some rules that may have changed particularly in light of developments in the royal families. He said, I find it ridiculous that in 2011, a perfectly sentient adult woman has no rights of inheritance whatsoever when it comes to a blank.
No rights of inheritance whatsoever when it comes to a... 2011. So is this around when Kate and what's-his-face were having a baby?
I think so.
And we didn't know what the gender was going to be?
I think so.
When it comes to a crown?
Good guess.
Okay. What was it?
A hereditary title.
A hereditary... You wanted me to pull hereditary title?
Or just title. Just title. Yes. So this was so the prince and princess have their first baby in 2013. But there was a lot of talk after they got married about the line of succession.
And should it change?
And should it change?
I think it did. I think it has changed.
Yeah, line of succession changed, but apparently they weren't passing titles down. And this was relevant to his wife, because his wife, her father was Count Kitchener, and the title would have died with him. But he was fighting to have that title then be passed down to her.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, listeners, I got it wrong. Did you get it right? Is the question. So you can follow us on Instagram at Strange Bedfellows, that's Fellows with an ES, where we will be posting the trivia question and answer each week. This week, I have a question for Stefanie.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Gwen is trying to raise her position by learning to use a typewriter. Although our modern QWERTY keyboards still resemble the early typewriters, there are some notable differences. There was no delete or backspace key, for obvious reasons. But early versions also lacked what numeral? All right, so did you get the question right, audience? We will find out if Stefanie got it right in next week's episode. So tune in next week. And if you think you know the answer, you can find this week's question over on Instagram and put your answer in the comments.
We hope you'll reach out.
Yeah, exactly. We play along with us, friends.
Yes.
So this has been another episode of Strange Bedfellows. You've heard our thoughts, and now we want to hear yours.
The best way to get in touch with us is on Instagram. Again, that's at Strange Bedfellows with an ES in Fellows, or email us at strangebedfellows@gmail.com. You can also find our personal social media links in the show notes.
If you would be so kind, please rate and review the show wherever you're listening to us right now, and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks for listening.